Yeah.
All right.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
So do we have any transition or anything? Because we were just talking with the community, so now we just go straight
No,
to the
I
stream.
had to just completely cut them off
Okay.
mid-sentence.
Okay.
and,
It's awesome.
Yeah, we have to
This
introduce
is
everyone.
high production value here.
It is. It is. I don't have the
It's
overlays.
because all the money's
wait.
going to game dev. Comes straight to you, the consumer.
Look, I have mine.
Oh, dude, where's my little thing?
I
don't have a thing?
No.
All right.
You can do
Oh, damn. I'll take Walters. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
He's... All right, so I have the creative director here with me, Mark. Now he was on for the community talk back when we were redoing. Was it progression? Were we talking about progression?
I think I was talking about progression last time.
So it wasn't that we were redoing progression per se. It was that we were just talking about progression and some of the changes that we had made initially, and now we have another big change that we're talking about, and that is the introduction of the new game mode, codenamed House Party. House Party, as of today.
Not codenamed Juggernaut. Codenamed House Party.
House Party.
I prefer Uber game.
So,
Seems to fit it more.
yeah, some of you guys know this Uber game, which is kind of what we were talking about it.
Now, is it a secret that some people out there have been playing House Party already?
I don't know. It's no secret.
Because if it is, I just blew it.
We've been pretty public about everyone playing House Party.
Good, cool.
So I think there's, in total, we have 20 players, beta participants that have access.
And of course, there's a bug in it, which we're trying to hotfix right now.
Yeah, so I want to let you guys know right away that for the existing players, we're trying to issue out a hotfix to get the version of House Party out that we thought was going to be in there out today. But if we can't get it out today, we're going to cut it off for the weekend and put that hotfix out Monday, and then you guys will be able to play Monday. So... as of right now, all those guys are kind of using the honor system and not exploiting
keeping track of
the broken shit that we put in there.
Cool.
So
that's very honorable of them.
Yeah,
that's
it is. Some of them,
I know that didn't go down when it was broken in house. People immediately jumped all over that stuff and started exploiting.
I'm sure
it.
there's a couple of you guys that are probably being scumbags and.
Bigness.
Pyro ARs, given that.
Yeah.
Pyro ARs, man, like they kill you in one bullet with full auto.
With quad.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they do.
It's lovely.
But yeah, so right now, what we're going to do, we're obviously going to be answering questions. I have the chat up. I'm not looking at the thread on the forum. So if you have any questions, we're going to be looking at the chat. But Mark,
does anybody ever tweet questions at us when we're doing this sort of thing?
No, I don't really look at Twitter and stuff.
So we're looking just at the Twitch chat.
Just at the Twitch chat.
If you want to talk to us, it's got to be through Twitch chat, or else you don't exist.
Or in the raid call. There's these guys in the raid call too.
I hear from those guys all the time, though. I don't want to hear from them, do I?
Are you guys planning to add more people to the list?
So the plan right now is to actually, we had a meeting about that this morning, is I'm actually going to rotate players. So for the, let me rephrase that. All of the deputies will always have access to the playlist once we change that password around. And we're going to rotate in. So we're going to get first wave of feedback from all these guys. And there's going to be another group that's going to get feedback, then another group. And I think that's the best way to kind of go about kind of everyone getting it and then getting a lot of different perspectives and variety and skill and all that stuff from groups. So I think that's probably the best way to do it. And that's what we talked about this morning. So the first wave is kind of active right now. There's, like I said, it's like 20 guys. Next wave might be, I don't know, another 20 guys with some overlap. But we do want to get as much feedback on it as possible.
And also players at different skill levels. Also.
Yeah, that's
also
very
important to get in there.
It's very important.
Why not just make it public, though? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you...
the thing is that people we talk to directly who we know are going to be, one, more useful in terms of giving us feedback, and then two, understand that, it's not finished yet, and to not, it takes a certain level of kind of like with itness to be able to participate in super early stuff like this. If you just put it out there public the way it is right now, it would be totally useless. Whereas you guys can give us useful feedback even in a partial state like this.
Yeah, and I think Comrade hit it right on the head. I mean, he had a post, Comrade Black had a post in the forums that was like, I can understand why you guys would not want everyone in the wild running around with this. Because it's just, it's in a state now where if we don't do it in this way, we're not going to get valuable feedback. That's just the nature of it. I think it was Catman that asked that.
No. Yeah,
So how do we put
Pretty
the
sure
how do we
it was
put
Gamer
the
or something.
I don't remember. I haven't
How do we
posted.
put this on here?
yeah how do we
You ready?
yeah let's go ahead and throw that up there real quick.
All right, so we're gonna go away here for a second, but we're
Oh
still
wow,
here.
this is slick. Nice.
So you guys are looking at Trailer
Wow.
Park. This is a little variation.
Right. So as you notice, like we've got these big boxes behind now, which is the spawn points where you'll start. Each team starts at its own spawn point behind, and back in there is also where you do the upgrading. You got to go back there in order to buy your upgrades. Your like nanotech injections is eventually what they're going to be.
If you want to hit, I think is scroll over here real quick and move up on this. I think you want to look at HP, not that one. HP. Click off that. HP 3
3. Okay, yeah, and right now there's little symbols, and this is just, again,
placeholder.
super temporary. This is placeholder. Right now we've got 3 different symbols in the world that represent the different injections you can get. And I think eventually what it's going to be like 3 different multinational corporations sell different nanotech injections to like boost you up. And then as you're playing the game, you're earning plutonium you can use to buy better injections. So as you go along, and right now there's the 3 injections are basically one makes you far more lethal, one makes you far more hardy, survivable, and the third one is for support, which increases your healing rate and stuff like
So go
that.
ahead and click HP 4. That's the
And
defense.
there's the defense one, and then there's the one that helps the healing, for support, right? So, and we're gonna fill it out right now. Right now, it's still in a super crude state where just each one just kind of stacks up on top of each other and just gives you more of the same stuff. So, if you're taking the Slayer injections, then you're just boosting basically your damage output, and that just keeps stacking up and up and up as you play the game. As you kill, as you do objectives, as your team does objectives, you gain plutonium. Which then you're using to buy these upgrades in-game. And so through the course of the game, just like a MOBA, you start off at level 1, and then you're getting better injections as you go along, and you become, basically, you start to snowball, and you become awesome at the end.
And Bigness is in there. He's one of the deputies, and people are talking about
Better
comparisons to MOBA. There are some, I don't know, Control Z on that. There are some MOBA comparisons, but once you play it, you're like, okay, I see it, but this is.
It's
doesn't play
nothing.
like a
It's
MOBA.
nothing like a MOBA because it's still super high paced and you're still being super rewarded for your shooting ability. The thing that's like a MOBA is simply that there's objectives and you're expected to work with your teammates to get the job done, and that you scale over the course of the game. Now, but it's like it's on crack, and it's not like you're playing it from an RTS view. I mean, I'm showing you the overhead right now just to show you, but it's still exactly the same Loadout game. It's still a shooter. It's still a high-paced shooter. It's just that as you're playing this game over the course of it, all of your attributes are changing depending upon what injections you're getting, and so are the enemies. And that has a lot of interesting consequences. Like you got to start learning, hey, that guy's a tank, and they've been snowballing us, so I'm not going to be able to one-shot him in the head with my sniper rifle right now. And I think it also is going to reward a lot of different weapon sets that maybe weren't all that super in the main game, but now because of circumstances, there might be some circumstances where certain weapons are actually quite a bit more interesting than they were.
Yeah.
Pyro.
Yeah.
Quad
Yeah,
damage.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and look, I don't want to bag on Super Monday Night Combat. I think they did a really good job of a particular kind of game, but Super Monday Night Combat, at the core of it, it's not a shooter in my mind. Like, if you didn't have the objectives and everything, and you were just trying to play that as a shooter, it doesn't play as a shooter. And I think they'd be the first to admit that. Like,
It plays more like a Smite.
yeah, exactly. It's more like Smite, where it's this first person MOBA kind of thing. It's an in-tight MOBA. Whereas what we've got a shooter that plays as a shooter, and then we took some of the MOBA sensibilities and some of the strategic elements and put that onto a shooter. So I think that's the really big change.
The other thing to mention is that there are no creeps. There's no creep lanes. Like, you're not sitting there farming creeps.
Right, no, and that was the other thing that we always wanted, is that we wanted you to be able to do stuff that was interesting and fun. And what's interesting and fun is going and capturing objectives, fighting other dudes over objectives. We might do some sort of, we experimented at one point with a creep type thing, but to be honest, sitting there farming creeps is not fun. So if we come up with a way to do that where it's action-packed and it makes sense in a shooter sensibility, we're going to do it. But we're not going to throw it in there just to throw it in there to make a MOBA game work, because it's not a MOBA. It's a shooter with MOBA elements. Let me bring up that screen again so I can talk a little bit about the way it works. Okay, so what's going on is it's at the core, it's kind of like Jackhammer. So each team has got back in its base a hammer, and then so this team is trying to come across the map, this team is trying to come across the map and get that hammer and then bring it back and capture it. Okay, so very much like Jackhammer, that's what's going down. But there's also 2 control points, and they're approximately here and here.
If you want to circle up there.
Right, and exactly. And up here we've got the little mini map, and it shows you where that stuff is. So, up here on the mini map, it shows you the state of the control points are here and here. Those two little white dots are the control points, and then it's showing you the bases as well. So you have a map up here that's showing you the status of the hammers and the 2 control points, and that way you've got strategic information at all times about the state of the game. So the 2 control points, and those are in the middle of the map here, those become available for capture, and then the minute a team captures that, they get points. Somebody on that team, the one who's closest currently to the center of the point, gets quad damage for I think 20 seconds or 30 seconds, something like that.
We're calling it quad damage, but it's actually
it's really enhanced damage. It's not exactly quad.
It scales based off of your current level.
I don't know if it does. I mean, it doesn't.
Supposed to.
Anyhow,
So.
There's some complicated formula in there, but basically what it does, it turns you into a killer for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering, like we were playing, and like I was on the point first, and suddenly Bronco walks up to it, stands on it for half a second, and gets the boost.
So we've been debating that, and that's definitely one of the things we'd like to hear from people when they actually start playing it. Some of us are saying, hey, we like the idea that a team can decide who takes that. You can as the healer, I will sometimes back off and not take the boost damage.
So that's a point right there.
So I will intentionally back away from the center, even though I'm the one who's been capturing it the whole time. I'll back up and let somebody else take that damage boost because that's better for our team. But on the other hand, some people are saying, well, look, it should probably go to the guy who's been capturing the point the most time instead of just somebody who waltzes through and gets it. Yeah. So we definitely would like to hear feedback on that. As you guys are playing it under the current rule, if you'd want us to try a different rule to check it out, let us know that for sure.
Did you say it was the closest to the center gets it?
Yeah, the closest to the center wins. At the moment of capture, it looks and sees who on your team is the closest to the center of the capture point, and that person gets the quad damage for 20 seconds. All right, let me look on over in the chat here.
I'm adding in a couple of images.
So, snowballing was one of the most hated elements of Super Monday Night, and this just adds it to Loadout. So, right now, the snowballing doesn't feel super, super bad, in my opinion. But that is one of the things we're going to want feedback from the community on. Because what we want this sense where if a team starts getting an early lead, we want it to feel like you earned an edge, but we don't want it to completely snowball out to hell. Now, on the other hand, and here's what's going to be kind of hard about judging this, and we've seen some of it here in the studio. People are not very honest with themselves about how good they are.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 teams and Team 1 is just strictly better than Team 2, I mean, Team 1 is better than Team 2. Team 1 should win, right? You play the game, Team 1 snowballs, they completely kick Team 2's ass, and Team 2 goes, oh, screw this snowball, this is what's killing us. No, it's not what's killing it. What's killing it is you suck and Team 1 is good. So what we really want is if teams are kind of close, we do want it to be the ability to like push and pull to go back and forth. But if it's going to be a blowout, I'm sorry, it's going to be a blowout. Like, we're not making a game that's going to baby the losing team and go, hey, we're going to give you a great chance. No, I'm sorry, you lost because you weren't as good.
I do have a couple of the things that you mentioned with so here are the points. This is one of the things you were talking about with
right.
The drips. So having these active and control. I mean, this will be the same thing for the points on the capture points.
Right.
So you'll see these little points.
So the capture points right now, the capture points give you a big load of plutonium, a big load of points when you capture it. And we're still messing around with exactly what the formulas are. But basically, you get points for killing people and capturing their vials, for capturing the control points, and then for doing the hammer captures. In every case, the people who are like the main guys doing it get more points, but points get shared to all the team as well. So, for example, if Kendall kills some guy and I pick up the vial, Kendall gets the most points, I get the second most points, and the other two people on the team will get a little bit of points, like about half what I got is about. All right? So everything that goes on in the game, people on that team are getting plutonium, but it's mostly going to the people that are doing the things.
Right.
All right? So if you capture the hammer, you get a bunch of points, and everybody else on your team gets, I think, a little less than half for whatever it is that your hammer is worth. Yeah. So then, as you get to certain breakpoints, you're able to afford the next injection. You go back to your base or you die, and when you respawn, you go on the little symbol that lets you buy the injection, and now you've boosted yourself up to the next level. Now, eventually, all of this is going to get replaced by a super slick UI and all that stuff, but we don't want to pour a bunch of effort into that before we know what it's going to be, one. And two, our UI guys are working on other things right now.
Right.
So,
and the other thing is, like, the reception is like, does this game type suck?
Yeah. And like if you guys come back and say this is not even fun, I don't even know what you're doing, then honestly, we will derail and go do something else.
Yeah.
Like for sure. We think this thing's got a lot of promise, but if you all come back and go, I don't even know why you made this, then we're not going to pour any more effort into it. Like the UI guys will go do something else.
So after you earn all of your, the max level's 10. So let's say your
Yeah.
max out levels.
Yeah.
You're on the verge of.
I don't think has anybody gotten 10 yet without a bug? Because usually at the end of the game, you usually have
you
that
can
level.
get 10 without a bug, like relatively easy. Like towards the end of the game, you can get to level 10 quite good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say that
Seemed like
rate
I
is
was-
quite good. Like it's
Yeah,
still
it's very
good.
good.
But it's just, I think it's kind of bugged because the last two levels only take 1,000 points.
I actually did that.
Last
I
three.
did that on purpose. I put in some numbers to work at first. I just kind of like typed in some numbers to make a little curve there, just to see what it was going to be like. And obviously, all of that is tunable. Currently, actually, right now, it will dump out some stats on how stuff went in the game. And what I don't know whether or not we're wired up to get those stats back from public games being played yet. But anyhow, the plan is to put some stuff in there, let you guys play it. You guys come back with feedback. We collect data and then to tune all those numbers. So that's not a bug. That's the way I put it in, but that's not necessarily a final like cost or whatever.
Okay.
And then for max level is 10, and then
Yep.
for the final score it's 10,000. And then
Right.
what I don't have on here is, we bring back up the
The house party.
house party. Why is it not coming up?
I don't know. I broke it.
Maybe I need to remove one of these.
Maybe I wiped it. Oh wait, did we close the paint program?
Oh, duh.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so boom. When you get 10,000 points, the crystals pop up.
Right. So conceptually, what happens is, right now this is like super. Let me put my face on here. This is super placeholder, right? I mean, this is like coders and designers grabbing whatever we can and putting it in there. So this is just the way it is right now. This is not the way it's supposed to be. All right. So the way it works right now is at 10,000 points, we spawn 2 big crystals back here near your base. All right. So let's say this side over here, this side right here has gotten to 10,000 points first. They will get 2 crystals spawning here and here on their base. And what you're supposed to do is you got to go get the hammer, and then you got to come back and smash that crystal. Okay. You smash one of the crystals. It blows up, you die, the hammer goes back to their base, and you got to do it again. Get the hammer, bring it back, smash a crystal, then your team wins, all right? So basically what that does is that's going to give the losing team, if it's a close game, it's going to give the losing team time to get enough points to open up the other guys, and now everybody's trying to get everybody else's hammer to smash the crystals, and it turns into chaos. Honestly, we haven't yet had a game that was close enough where that happened. So the question then is do we have too much snowballing going on? We need this game played a lot more in order to start answering questions like this. The intent is to make it so that a close game has got a dramatic ending, so that a losing team that's just a little bit behind can like play some defense, get to 10,000 themselves, and now everybody's trying to smash everybody else's crystals.
Yeah. Which was close. It was close to happening internally. Like there was a couple. Really
there were a couple close matches where losing team was really trying to drag it out. Yep.
And then they got like 8,000-9,000, but then they didn't see the first crystal get smashed, and then they snuck away and like got the second crystal.
But I think even internally, we've only played this game type under these rules 3 times.
3 times, 4 times.
Like because we're working on the game, right? So. That's a big part of why we wanted to push this out as well, is because you all know the game, you all know the sensibility of the game, and then you're going to be awesome play testers for this. You're going to be able to hammer on it a lot more than we are. So, you guys are going to get a lot of say in this because you're going to have played it more than we are. Fully honest.
Like the first match we played, we had no idea what those crystals were, and we ended up with like 14,000 versus 13,000, and then we smashed our own crystals.
You smashed your own crystals, yeah. You probably shouldn't be allowed to smash your own.
I think that's funnier.
It was pretty funny.
Glorious.
Although that leaves room for some trolls, I guess.
Yeah.
They sit in the whole
some
game
serious
just to
trolling there.
wait to smash. That would be some serious.
Oh,
trolling.
dude. So, the game. I think it was Chivalry is the name of the game, the one with the melee weapons, multiplayer. So there's a mode there where it's like one guy gets to be the king at the end. Whoever's the high scorer becomes the king at the end, and you got to protect him. Okay, and then you know that mode. So there's this guy, and he's the high scorer. He becomes the king, and he's just got to live for like three minutes, and we win. 15 seconds left, he runs from his protected back area, runs straight into the enemy, is surrounded by enemies pounding on him. We're furiously trying to pull him off, and he dies with like 3 seconds left. It was like the most colossal, awesome troll ever, right? Like, what a sweet setup. So no, I think people are very willing to put in that kind of time for a sweet troll. I think you cannot underestimate the trollability of games like this.
Yeah.
That is the kind of king nobody wants to be ruled by.
Exactly.
No, that's like almost like a you give up though. Like,
yeah,
I surrender. Come on, just surrender, guys. Just shoot the crystal.
I see. A way of surrendering. Smash your own crystal.
That's okay.
That's some trolly shit. Some things to note here. The bases, when the hammer is up, each base. When the hammer is there, your team, this team here, if your hammer is there and the enemy team hasn't taken it yet, you're gaining points on a drip. And everybody on the team gets a drip of points. Drip, drip, drip. Every second and a half you get 5 points, something. Okay? Now that means if the other team comes in and grabs the hammer and then plays keep away with it, they are denying you a source of points. Okay? Now, is that a legitimate strategy? Should they come back and cap it for the points, or should they play keep away for a little while? Should they use it to run around and kill people? Should they use it to help defend points? I don't know strategically whether or not what's the smart thing to do here. Internally, we've been kind of paranoid about the hammer carrier getting ganked, which happens a lot, and so hustling his ass back to get it captured. But I think there's a lot of alternate strategies here that may or may not come out depending upon how the game goes.
Does hammer have infinite charges? It is the same as
jackhammer. Currently it has a set number of charges. Now we fixed a lot of stuff with the netcode and the unpredictability of the hammer, which means that people aren't being able to smash other people from 30 feet away the way that it seemed they were able to before. So hammer has been fixed. It now works in a much tighter manner. As a result, the hammer, while still powerful, doesn't feel like a super god weapon. And so there has been discussion about, do we still need to limit the charges on the hammer? Yeah. So you know what? That's up for grabs as well. So if you guys want to give us feedback on that, we'll take feedback on that.
Well, one little thing, I feel like as soon as the losing team is at 9,000 points, while the winning team is at 10,000, you're more inclined to turtle up because you still get that source of points from the hammer.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe there should be something if the winning team reaches 15,000 points,
it's an automatic
victory. They get some quad damage. I don't know, whatever.
Well, the interesting thing about turtling, and I'm gonna take this, is that if you have 3 turtles in the base, they're not getting quad damage.
Right.
And what ends up happening is, and by the way, and this wasn't included in the notes, we fixed the kill time, so they're all consistent. So let's say you get the damage boost, and you push, your team pushes, they're just sitting back turtling, and you wipe the floor with them, you're going to probably be able to get the hammer and have, if it's coordinated, and this is the idea behind this, it's team-based. So if it's coordinated, you have your damage dealer pushes up. He's the guy that wipes everyone. You have your flag runner come in, grab the hammer. He takes off, and then they have to wait a couple seconds before they spawn. They can't spam that key anymore to get in instantly. So the animations aren't determining when players are spawning. So that allows you to get kills and then get out faster.
So I'm gonna piggyback right on the back of that. So we've got a number of anti-snowball things in there that are logical. So we're not cheating for the losing team, but there are a few things in there that are logical that do help anti-snowball. One of them is when you kill somebody and you pick up the vial, that vial becomes more valuable if the person you killed had a lot of kills. So if the person you killed was their big killer on the other team, you're going to get a lot more points for that vial. And so that acts as an anti-snowball, because if one team has got one guy that's running out there and killing everybody, you just got to kill him once and you get a whole bunch of points for it. And so that will help you catch up. Number 2 is, and we haven't put this in because it's a little bit tricky technically, and then there's some question about how exactly to make it work. But the idea would be is that if you get up to level, say, 7, 8, 9, 10, that we actually put you on a timeout for a little while. So if I have gotten enough injections and I'm up to level 7 now, I've got to wait, say, 2 seconds before I can respawn. At level 10, maybe I have to wait 6 seconds before I can respawn. Okay? And so in that way, that kind of acknowledges your importance in the game. If you've gotten to the point where you have so many injections, you are this God King Slayer on the board, your life's important. And if you die, you got to be put on the timeout box for a little while in order to think about what you've done, right? So you can't be so cavalier about your life. You're an important aspect of the game. And it also will act as kind of an anti-snowball, as a catch-up element, a natural catch-up element. So the question on that one is, should we add that? And when we put it in there, is that working, or does it seem too frustrating, or whatever? That's going to be another element that we need feedback on.
Okay.
Okay, the skill so now we're asking about the skill cactus. So.
Oh yeah, there was some confusion on.
Yeah, no joke, because we're doing all this new stuff all the time. Okay, so let me try to clarify this. There are 2 tech trees going into the game. One only has to do with House Party, and it works like a MOBA, and it's during the course of the game, you're getting injections, and the injections are making you better over the course of the game. Okay. The second tech tree that's going into the game has to do with the way that you get weapon parts. And right now, the weapon parts are an inventory system, and you're spending space bucks to buy weapon parts. And when you buy a weapon part, you have one weapon part, and you can use that on any one weapon. So we're changing that entirely. Instead of you having to keep track of how many weapon parts you have, we're putting in a tech tree where you research a weapon part, and then you can use that as much as you want in any weapon you make. So once, for example, I've researched Tier 2 fire payload for launchers, I can put a Tier 2 fire payload on any launcher I want, period. And so now there's this tech tree that you're researching as you play the game, and you're spending your plutonium on, or blutes, which is going to be the what you get as you're progressing. And so you can't buy them. You have to earn them by playing the game. And so you play the game, you earn blutes, you spend them on tech upgrades, and those tech upgrades give you the right to use those pieces as much as you want whenever you're making a weapon. But I can see where it's confusing, because we're talking about 2 things that aren't in the game yet, and they're both tech trees. So I expect to have to explain this a bunch more once we start putting it out.
What I kind of worry about a little bit is if the new players, they have to play to get those weapon parts so that they can make new weapons.
Yep.
If they're not experienced with the new weapons that they're playing with, how will they ever be able to unlock them without just grinding and getting destroyed for an extremely long time?
Right. Okay. So I guess there's 2 things that I see making that work. One is new players won't have to play against experienced players. Like, the new players will be in with other new players. 2 is they're going to be earning that stuff very, very quickly at the beginning. So we want it to be an experience where you've got a nice pool of stuff to play with at the very, very beginning of the game, and you can make a bunch of different weapons. And then very quickly you're earning more and more pieces so you can experiment around with different weapons. And then over the long haul, then you're starting to think about how you want to optimize this. And that's for kind of more experienced players. The new players will be playing against each other, having a great time, earning a bunch of pieces, figuring out the systems, and being able to play around with that. Whereas it's going to be the more experienced players are going to be like, okay, what specific upgrade do I want to start researching next for the weapons that I know that I'm interested in?
Right. And this kind of helps the.
So
I'm not trying to call them out, but this kind of helps the ace gamers of the world.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
no,
sense
absolutely.
that
And this, I think it's fine to
I
call him
always
out because
want to
this
earn
is a
things.
thing he has always said we need to do, and now we're doing it. So I think we should say yes, Ace Gamer, you said to do this, and we're doing it.
so Mark,
Yeah,
is it set in such a way that the tech tree is built per chassis? So you're looking for, you build the pyro payload for all launchers, but you still have to build the
You got
pyro
it.
payload for pulse.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we expect people will be unlocking stuff very, very rapidly, though. So I mean, it sounds at first like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to make any weapons, but we plan on starting out with a whole bunch of pieces, the right to make a whole bunch of pieces, and to very, very quickly get you to the point where you can make all the weapons you can make now. And then a lot of what you're going to be spending it on is on those upgrades and side grades. So all the basic parts will unlock very, very rapidly, and then upgrades and side grades will be kind of a more long-term game cycle.
In addition to the ace gamers out there, can we also talk about kind of the reasoning behind the change, like players having everything
Uh-huh.
and then playing around with it and then kind of losing interest?
Sure. Okay. Sure. We'll do Design 101. All right. So Design 101, players want all the cookies right at the front whenever you're playing a game. But then as a player, when you're given all the cookies, you go, this sucks because what's the point? I was just given all the cookies, right? Like all the games that you really like, the games that hook you, that keep you, your favorite games. I know this is true about my favorite games, are the games that do a good job of like, when I'm at work, I'm thinking about tonight, I want to do X, Y, and Z so that I can unlock this thing or so that I can do this new thing. I've got a 1-day goal, I've got a 1-week goal, I've got like a 1-month goal. I've got these goals for this game that I'm looking forward to going back and doing. Right? Like League of Legends right now, I'm trying to earn my 6,000 IP so that I can get my 3 movement speed quints. Like I'm thinking about that today as I'm here in the game, playing, talking about some totally other game, and this is a goal that's in my mind about what I want to do, and it's cool. It gives me a reason to come back to the game, and it gives me a sense of accomplishment when I do it. So what we wanted to do is we want to get more of that in Loadout so that you've got this tech tree and you've researched stuff and there's a thing that you want to research next so that you can juice up this weapon that you've been thinking about making and optimizing. And you don't quite have it yet, but you will today if you play a couple games. That kind of stuff is cool. That's exciting. And so that is exactly what the point of this is to bring that sense of long-term accomplishment, long-term unlocks, things to look forward to, not having the entire game at the very, very beginning, but rather unlocking it as you're ready so that it's a better pacing to the entire overall experience.
So I felt like that needed to be explained
Sure,
before people.
sure. And I think it's going to create a better.
Falling.
I think it's going to create a better experience, particularly for people who are new to the game and coming in, so they won't get overwhelmed with all the different stuff that's going on. There'll be some people who come in new to the game and are like, wow, this is awesome. I wish all this stuff was unlocked so I could do it. And they're immediately going to start playing the game in order to unlock it to get it, which is what you want. Like we want people playing this game and coming in and looking forward to that next thing that they're going to see. So I think it's going to be a great thing for the game overall and the health of the community and everything. Let's see if we got any other questions over here.
Matchmaking.
Unlocks equals game addiction. That's not a bad way to put it, Cody. Yes.
In regards to the unlocking, will you be spending space bucks to do so, or will it be a different thing entirely?
Right. So space bucks is going to become what we call the cash currency. So the money you get for paying us actual money is going to be called space bucks. And we'll also be giving out space bucks to everybody who's been playing the beta and everything. And anybody who's bought already, we'll give them. There's some step we're going to have to go through to make sure everybody's treated well. But space bucks will become the cash currency. The grind or earned currency is going to be called, and I hate the word grind because it's not going to feel like a grind. You're going to be unlocking stuff all the time. But the grind or earned currency is going to be called bloots. And then bloots you earn after playing games. Bloots you earn only by playing games. And the only thing that unlocks tech is bloots. So the only way to unlock the tech tree is by playing the game.
It's kind of a good idea, but it feels like that I like the idea that you can earn everything in Loadout the way it is right now, but
Yeah.
just that you're gonna have to buy double XP and you're gonna have to buy clothing with actual money. It just seems iffy.
Right. So I guess okay. So the thing is, we need to find a way to get money from people who think there's a value to paying money, or who just kind of like the game and want to throw us some bucks. Because I know I do that in some games too. It's like, you know what, these guys are good guys. I like this game. I'm going to throw them some money. So we need to find a way to have hooks in there for the money, because without money we can't keep doing this. But on the other hand, I don't want money poisoning the game part of the game. You know what I mean? So there's a game here that is play the game, earn XP, earn bloots, unlock the tech tree, and you can play that without paying us any money at all. And so then the question is, how do you kind of put a firewall between that stuff and the other things that you can offer people who are paying money? And we're trying to come up with ways that works, and it's nice, and people who pay money feel like they got their value, but at the same time, the people who are trying to play the game part of it don't feel like it's being poisoned by people who can come in and just buy their way out of anything. I think we've got a solution that works really well on both, and obviously we're going to be listening to you guys as it rolls out.
And I remember a similar kind of scare and concern from the community when we said, okay, guys, and this is like a year ago. Okay, we're moving from everything's unlocked to now we're locking it.
Right.
And that was so we had to make that transition, and the existing beta testers then were like,
right.
Done.
Sure.
And so, I
understand where the fear comes from. Believe me, I've seen a lot of games do it wrong and go south. So we're trying to be smart. We're trying to do it the right way, and I think more importantly, we're listening. And so, if as we start putting it in there, it super sucks, then we're going to listen to that and try to figure out a way to make it not suck. Unusual like item effects would be cool as hell.
Oh yeah.
So, what do we mean by that? what is that
So
supposed to
in
refer to?
TF2, there are way too many in my opinion. But the hats you can get when you uncrate a hat, you get there's like a 1 in 1,000 possibility or 1 in 100 of getting a hat that has an effect, like it's got a circling heart or it's got green flames or whatever.
Right.
And
Well,
having something similar to that would be cool.
like walrus
Well,
stuff.
just the weapon skins, I think, would also be quite.
Weapon skin with like
Yeah.
electricity
Yeah, I agree with
around that weapon.
Walrus.
But weapon skins would also be quite cool. I mean, it's about your weapon. I want my weapon. I want to give my weapon some extra love by giving it some money.
Yep.
You want your weapon to look like walrus blubber.
No, like tusks. I want to make a weapon with tusks.
Also,
Camo.
choose tusks instead of
You
cannonballs.
want a blubber hurler.
And just to be clear, we're talking about stuff that's cosmetic only, right? So I mean, it doesn't have an in-game
Yes, absolutely.
functional effect. We want to put as much stuff in the game like that as we have time to make. So, like, anytime we've got time for somebody to make a thing, we have to decide, is this going to be a common item that everybody gets to do? Is this going to be a rare item that only some people see? Is this going to be an item that you only get to see once you reach level 30? Is this going to be an item that's pay only? Is this going to be an item that's like kind of a rare thing that drops? We have to spread them around, and I agree that it's good to have things in every category.
Right. It sounds like from what I remember, that's what you guys wanted to do with the rod, right? You want to leave that up for a certain amount of time, and then eventually it's just going to go away.
Yep. And the other thing we want to do is, and I really like this idea as well, and it's again just a matter of getting because it's a low priority thing, but it is a priority, is this idea of having cosmetic stuff that is a celebration of your achievements in the game. So, for example, if we did like a football jersey with a 99 on it, and what that means is you got to level 99, and the only people who can buy that, and maybe it's only like a $1 item, but it does say, hey, I reached level 99 and I can wear this jersey. So like a combination of achievement plus in-game cosmetic. These categories now that like allow people to better show off what they've done in the game.
Yeah.
If somebody's gotten a 10x kill streak, that maybe there's some mustache that unlocks. It's like the 10x kill streak mustache with the twirly, evil villain mustache.
If I
really good
remember
because
correctly,
that way you also get some variety on the field.
Yeah,
Otherwise you just see
and we
people
want
running
certain
around
things to be
with evil
special. We don't want
clothes.
everybody to have everything.
Boring.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
other thing that would do though is that would actually play really well with the tech tree, because then you're thinking about how can I build a better weapon?
Yes.
I need to upgrade this so that I can get more kills, so that I can get that
Yeah.
cosmetic item.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves hats.
Yep. And yeah, Panger, I think challenges where you unlock cosmetics is exactly the sort of thing we're talking about. So special challenges, it's it's up for maybe a week or up for a day, and if you complete the challenge, then bang, it's unlocked a cosmetic for you. I think that's a shit hot idea. I love that idea. And it's just gonna be a matter of prioritizing that and getting it in with everything else we want to do. Yeah, the stash and the monocle and the top hat. That's some sweet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
Braun.
I believe
Braun,
on
yeah.
the forums we
What's
had a thread way long
Crates.
ago that instead of
Crates.
hats, everyone wanted.
No crates.
What did
No
beards?
Our thing
crates.
was going to be
Our thing was gonna be
Don't
beards.
do it.
yeah. So
Nice.
I will not be
nice.
allowed. If you guys add crates into this game, I will not be able to play. I'll have to quit.
Wait, what do you mean by crates? You mean like you
Like
mean like
TF2 crates.
oh the crates
you
with
have to
keys?
pay to open them.
Yeah, I will. I
Chance
cannot.
at getting a
I
shitty
cannot
weapon.
have a crate. I had to quit playing TF2 and Counter Strike because I kept buying keys.
So
Wait. So what I'm hearing you saying is that if we put in crates, we're gonna make money. Is that your threat to me? Is that what you're threatening me with?
Everyone will hate you.
I've also spent more money on Loadout than I have on either of those
Right.
games.
Yeah, that's
before I
true.
quit
That's
playing
true.
so here's something to think about.
Oh, I love the pinata idea.
And we're talking
Like it's a
about,
pinata and you got to buy the stick to bust it open, right?
yeah.
Oh
so
my god!
No.
the
guys,
thing that has kind
no.
of popped up here recently is that this is we've talked about House Party being the competitive game mode.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned some things like clan support and whatnot, and there's kind of a crowdfunding type thing that's going on with tournaments where the community
Yeah.
is generating prize pot.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
freaking awesome. I can't
as much
believe
as
it.
you might dislike crates, I actually think that, and Bigness mentioned this, esports for competitive scene, for making prize pots or just generating funds to fund your own type of prizing, I think that's actually really intuitive for that specific scene. So let's say there was a specific item that you bought. Let's say you bought team jerseys of your favorite guys, or I don't know, guys from the studio, and all the sales from that went towards the prize
Oh, I
pot
see
for
what
the
you're saying. I
tournament.
see what you're saying. So we
Then-
could do items, and
In
those
the
items
game.
are earmarked specifically for prize pools for tournaments.
And they could be crates.
I like that idea, actually.
And those are the types of things that I think it makes sense. Like, we're not going to be like, oh, you need to buy this crate in order to get a hat. But if we put it towards the prize pool, for
If we
something, I
do
think that's
stuff
really-
like crates, that'll be
creative.
one of the ways that we keep rare items kind of out from being everywhere. And I would like to also include a way of being able to earn keys for people who are like, and that might be a lucky drop as well.
I just
guys
want
are
to make
gonna-
money off of my mask.
I don't know. I don't really like the idea of crates too much either.
Okay.
You guys are gonna have to put some sort of lock on my account. I'm dead serious. It's ridiculous. You guys will have to put some sort of lock on my account.
So you'd want to see some sort of like account setting where it's like, don't allow me to buy keys, or suppress crates.
Don't allow me to spend money.
Just
Don't
suppress
allow me-
crates. Like it could be a little checkbox inside your options of never give me a crate. Click.
Yeah, but then I could click it back.
Hey, Bronco, the basic
Oh
situation
my
is
god.
just go ahead and put your credit card in the
That's
mail.
the next,
attention Arctic.
The next
And
update
it's good.
on House Party is going to have crates in it.
Right.
That's,
I'm
that's,
the
it's
guy
official.
that will throw. I'm the guy that will throw $1,800 into a penny machine in like 5 minutes
Oh,
and
dude.
keep spending it.
Maybe throw your credit card into the
because-
shredder. That might help.
I can't go to the casino for the same reason. So to me, it's like an online version of gambling,
I see.
which I am always interested in, which is not good for me.
Right.
No, I really I don't think I think you need to be more creative than just putting down crates. That's so.
Mark said it, pinata.
I didn't say it.
Well,
Somebody
no,
else came
no,
up with
it's
the
the
pinata
same
with the devs'
concept.
faces on it.
Yes,
No,
it's a crate.
no,
it's
not
a
the same
box.
concept. Walrus, number one, you're Dutch. You don't know anything about pinatas. But number two, when you hit a pinata, you don't get one thing. You get a bunch of things.
Right.
Let me ask you guys this: if this is something you guys have on the table, are you also considering some sort of in-game trading system to go along with it, or would it just be
So the
solely-
minute you allow people to trade stuff between each other, then we've got a bunch of fraud and other problems we'd have to deal with. Like
Excellent.
Okay.
We're talking about it. We're thinking about it because I think like honest users would like to be able to trade their stuff among each other and to be able to, if you've played the game a bunch and you've got some value in your account, it would be nice to be able to trade that with other people and get something in return. That would be awesome for honest users. The problem is that complicates our economy a lot because now we have to deal with fraud and we've got to deal with people who make Munchkin accounts who will just go in and like now they're sitting around and not actually playing the game just to earn stuff so they can trade it. There's a whole bunch of farming and fraud stuff we have to deal with then, and we might do it someday, but we need really good answers for those two things before we're going anywhere near that.
So with the golf taunt, do you think people are just going to sit like if I were to make a Munchkin account, let's say
you would just be sitting there golf taunting all day long?
That's exactly what I would do. That's what exactly.
I will
what
do
would
that without a Munchkin account too.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't
I
need
will
a.
do
You
that
don't
anyway.
need
I think the
much
game is
to
going to
know.
be broken.
We are
once
going to make a golf
the
competition.
golf taunt.
Well, we
actually
better,
goes in.
we better,
The
Wally.
game
We
We
will.
better.
golf have like one team be the hole, and then you can shoot across trailer parks.
I
See
don't
if you can
want
hit that person.
I don't want any player I've ever even discussed anything with to be a hole for me.
No, see, you need to use the blitz flags as the holes.
Yeah.
This,
We have
I don't.
we have 10 minutes left, guys. So if you have any more questions while we got Mark in here,
Will it be a voiceover for taunt kills? We have definitely talked about adding voice packs so that players, if they want, can put in voiceovers for taunts. The problem we run across is just that there's a lot of people in a lot of different languages playing this game. So what to do about that?
Is there going to be a lore for Loadout at all?
No, this is not League of Legends.
No, but like,
Someday I could write up some lore.
They're like stuck in a lost planet.
Well, I mean, what questions do you have about the lore?
there's an official lore.
'cause I was
of
listening
No,
to
there's
one
official
guy
lore, it's
a
just
while
not written
ago,
down
and he was
anywhere.
talking about something called Venus Industries. That's
Yeah.
all I heard from the only radio.
Venus
I guess there's,
Industries.
Like, a
There's
small,
little bits
small
and pieces.
backstory.
Funny.
Don't know if it was going to get expanded on.
There was a guy on the forums. I can't remember.
Yeah, who actually
No
wrote a
idea.
backstory.
Wrote a backstory.
Yeah.
That's the official backstory.
No MBHS.
I mean, I think we get a lot of
No,
clues just from looking around I mean, obviously, you look around the levels, you can tell what this used to be like and what it's like now. Why are they doing this? I guess one of the interesting questions is how come when you die you just resuscitate after a couple seconds? Like, is the machine creating you? Are you trapped in this endless hell of rebirth and fighting? For what purpose? Like, have you gone mad? I don't know. Yeah, at some point somebody needs to write up some lore for this thing so that we can come up with answers for why it is. But it's not. Look, it's not League of Legends. We're not going to be making an MMO out of this thing. So we have like internal consistency, but we don't have written down the entire backstory and lore for the entire thing.
Would there be any way to get a hold of some of that information, like where cause you mentioned earlier that
Play the damn
with
game.
with the tech tree, you were saying what if we had maybe considering 3 different corporations, so
Right.
those corporations have to be involved in some way.
Sure. Yeah, and again, like those were just kind of invented in order to make the house party game work. So yeah,
Right, but I mean, is it going to be possible, like if somebody wanted to sit down and write some stuff up, could we talk to somebody?
no, we will sue you to hell if you do anything with our game. Yeah, of course.
That's how we make money.
Don't look at my game. Yeah, in fact, like Arctic was saying, somebody in the forums even kind of did that once. Was like, hey, here's some backstory stuff. There's a lot of facts about the world out there, in the levels, in the game, and we're adding more to it all the time. So if somebody wanted to write some fanfic, just God, please not slash fanfic, please.
Nope.
That would be great. Yeah, there you go,
Slash Fic,
fantastic,
Mark Now and Walter Baggett.
awesome.
I might write
Mark
something.
Now and T-Bone, thank you. He's my man.
Mark Now likes a
You're
little
gonna,
chocolate
you're
in his
gonna have
eyes.
another gift from that.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's
just
fine.
making sure. I'm putting it on the stream.
I am
the
not.
stream on the
Yeah,
website.
I was reading some story about somebody. I think it was the typewriter in Central Park guy. There's some guy who brought up typewriter Central Park. He got made fun of on Reddit, and it hurt his feelings. And I'm like, wow, really? Like, there's still people who get their feelings hurt from the internet nowadays. I don't even understand it. Like
all the time.
the internet is gonna rip your ass. Period. Just enjoy it. All right. Like, yeah, go ahead and make gifs of me all you want. I just simply don't care. Like, do it.
You guys heard it.
Done. Okay.
Remix that and
Trash
put,
talking
put
allowed. You guys heard it from Mark.
There you go, Peter.
Rogaine
Put some
memes are on
auto tune
their
on
way.
Mark in this video. Remix it. I don't care.
Look at my game.
I mean, I'm never gonna be able to run for like office. That's
fine.
fine. Like my presidential run would just be ruined. But other than that,
I'm
it's really not gonna affect
Straight
my
arrow.
life.
I still have.
You can still run. You could probably still run. Not with some of the stuff I know about you, but I can be bought, so that's not a problem. All right. Anybody
I
else
have
got?
a little question about the game mode,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the new game mode. It seems to last very long.
We were shooting
Like,
for a time range of about
what?
20 minutes. So I guess one of the questions is that too long?
Well, we played
longer
it
than 20, I
3v3
think.
earlier, and it just ended up with Bigness spawn camping the other guys while I was trying to carry over the hammer as much as possible, which looked like 20 captures before it reached 10,000.
I've also posted about the spawn camping. I posted.
And that's like,
diagram.
Yeah,
and
we
that-
need to do
that
something
was
about
like
spawn
with
camping.
complete domination that it still takes 20 minutes. I don't know how it would be if it was balanced.
So, yeah,
Forfeit mode.
and this is the thing that I was trying to say. Like, I got banned from the playtest for a little while, so I'm just gonna let you guys. I got banned because there was.
Because you were fucking things that we couldn't test anything. Like, how's this gameplay? I don't know. I get shot by Arctic. Like, okay, I didn't learn anything.
So I was wondering what would happen if some of the once the vets got their hand on it, if spawn camping would be an issue.
Yeah.
Because my assumption, based off of how pathetic some of the internal playtests were with me playing, how bad it would be for some people.
Right.
Yeah, I already posted a thread on it, so
Okay.
it's been an issue already.
All right.
Yeah, and I think the hammer needs to get more points because I was carrying the thing over like 20 times and still didn't reach 10,000.
But I think Wally, the problem is that there were two people and they were and Bigness was just sitting there being a jackass.
Yeah,
you
you gotta
refresh quad damage all the time and then
keep in mind we want this to be heavily team
Yeah, yeah,
based.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you need 4 and you need 4 in the other team to get the ideal testing scenario.
But yeah, I mean, look, if after playing the game a bit, you guys are like, hey, we feel like the hammer is not worth enough. Especially if we can, I got to talk to Mike. Mike might be watching the stream. He is, actually. So, Mike, I don't know whether or not we can gather the same telemetry data, the points data as we were internally. But if we can't, we should be able to. Like, that's important to be able to get that data back as people are playing the game.
Oh, and since Mike is in the chat, I should probably get Mike on the stream so you guys can talk to him.
Has this always been my hair? This is horrible. Damn.
Well, just
Why do you
get
let me on
Ray
camera?
Bell so we can talk to him.
Everyone loves you.
All right, good, good. Yes, we should. Okay, good, Mike.
Yeah,
Get him.
Mike will be next. I'll get Mike in here next. That'd
When
be
is
fun.
Group 2 coming in rotation
Next.
for the house party game?
Maybe.
So when are we going to expand the circle? So
All right, so if you missed the beginning of the stream, and we'll probably end with this, the current build has a non-updated version of Hangouts, House Party.
Juggernaut.
No. The Juggernaut, bitch.
I'm Juggernaut, bitch.
Anyway, it has an outdated version of House Party, and we didn't know that until we put it in. And so we're trying to issue out a hotfix for the first group. If it doesn't go out today, access to the playlist will get cut off. I'll know in half an hour, and I'll be messaging all of the people that have access. That will change on Monday. If the new build goes out on Monday, they will have access again on Monday, and then they'll get to test up until, I don't know, maybe Wednesday or something like that. And then Group 2 will come in that following weekend. So about a week for the second group, but it's mostly because what we put out was so fucking fucked.
Raw. It's real. We're keeping it real.
Yeah, okay. It was fucked.
All right, but look, that's how you find out that things are broken. Like, you don't know that unless you put it out there.
I got a message.
Like, there was a bug only in final release. So you know how you find out when there's a bug in final release? When you do a final release. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
happen other than that.
I got word in 5 minutes.
Well,
Like
yeah,
5 minutes.
Yeah,
after
I mean, we get look.
I,
Put them to use. We got good guys out there.
We
That's
do.
what it's
That's
for.
what we're doing.
I'm not afraid of being embarrassed in front of these guys. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Having a contest soon, like gear contests. I don't know, Arctic. What do you got going?
Gear
We got any shit?
contest?
I don't know. He says gear
Alright.
contest.
2 minutes to answer if we're gonna have gear contests. I have been focused. What I wanted to do was a contest with the private playlist in a competitive sense once teams got organized. So maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do some a really cool idea actually, and this might be a contest. Is if you make what we consider one of the funniest outfits or mix and match an outfit, post it. We share it on Facebook.
Oh,
or
with
something
existing
like that.
pieces?
With existing pieces, your wackiest.
Oh, yeah,
outfit.
that's a good idea.
Well, you don't even have to purchase all the parts unless you want to, but you can just create it in the outfitter, and this looks like it'd be
and where,
hilarious.
do you want me to put in a forum post or tweet it to us or Facebook
tweet it
or
to
something?
us or Facebook, and then we can reward some really creative
Okay.
ones.
Well, which one do you want? I mean, you're the guide.
That's something I was thinking about.
Oh, okay. So you're not. It's not announced yet. This is
No.
not on yet. It's just at some point.
So
there'll be
yeah,
something.
that's.
All
I mean,
right.
that's
That's a
Tiger.
good call.
That's something that we've been thinking about. So yeah, we get tournament, and then we do really focused playtest tournament too with some really cool stuff I have in mind. And then internally, I guess we could talk about this. Internally, I think that I want to do a contest where we had those prizes that we had.
Right.
And so I'm thinking about making it so that we stream these and we have people on the forums pick what teams they think will win internally.
Okay.
And then everyone that bets with a certain
I
team,
see. And then you have to. Yeah, I see.
we give them something.
I see. Don't bet against me. I'm telling you right now. I win
So
all the time.
those are some of the things I've been thinking about for you guys to kind of wrap your heads around.
Can we get a Walter impersonation? Oh yeah, because I'm being Walter. So.
I hate fun.
All right. So. Yeah, the weapons are all going to be half damage from now on. I hope that's okay.
Oh my god.
How much can I bench? I just did a 10 rep of 185 this morning. That's a little lower than personal best. I was doing it without a spotter, so I was about 20 pounds lighter than I would be normally. That's exactly right. I play support and I get pissed at KL because he's not a team player.
That is incorrect.
Look, you got caught on the stream being not a team player. We were watching you on chat even, and it was there he goes off killing guys. He's not even doing the objective, and you were just in in red Kendall mode.
If I'm talking, I can do. This is okay. So when Walter plays, he can only do one thing. That's he can either play or he can talk.
You can do
when
two?
I play, I can
see.
do two things. I can play, which is normally me playing is just killing people,
Gotcha.
and I can talk.
See, I'm playing League of Legends while I do the chat and looking up all the quiz stuff, and then
I
talking to my wife on the phone. So I guess I don't understand the only two things at once.
I cannot play objectives very well and talk at the same time.
I see.
So all you're gonna get is those two things.
Good-
That is my flaw.
That's some good excuses, man. Is that it?
I'm a team
Are we
player.
done here?
I'm upset with. I'm a team player.
You're not a team. You are not a team player.
I am a team player.
Oh,
I
you know when we get the spectator mode, people will be able to follow you and see just how much of a team player you are not.
Fuck you. All right, guys.
Is that how we're going out right there?
We're heading out.
Don't go away mad.
Hope you guys.
We're not
enjoyed
supposed
this
to go to
stream.
sleep angry, KL.
Before we go, now that you're Walter, when are we getting a Walter mask?
Oh yeah.
Is that
Another
next?
mask.
I think that should be next. Although we might get sued by what's his name, James Bond.
Daniel
Yeah,
Craig?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, that is possible.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we have to talk about the Walter mask, and I have to post up a couple images of Walter that we have that are pretty funny because we have the headshots.
Oh yeah.
We have the
Yeah.
headshots, and that you guys probably haven't seen all
Cool.
fleshed out.
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
There's no K or L in team. Exactly.
First half an hour, if you missed the stream, make sure you check out all the info on House Party. And make sure you guys follow the stream. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. All that information is on the Twitch page somewhere down on the side. Where's the camera at? It's down here somewhere. Follow the stream. Follow us on Twitter. We are very active, and we will respond to you guys. Yeah, so that's about it.
That's it.
Thank
Thanks
you, Mark.
everybody. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for hanging. Thank you, playtesters. Keep it up.
Adios.